Welcome, everyone, to the True Believers Podcast here on the Fandom Podcast Network. Here on True Believers, we discuss all the MCU and fellow adjacent superheroes and stuff. So we cover just not the MCU, but we cover all superheroes here on the True Believers Podcast. And lately, if you have noticed, we are covering Daredevil Born Again Season 2. It's been a great run. We got a lot more to talk about because this is the final episode, but this is our spoiler reaction show here on True Believers. And of course, this is the Fandom Podcast Network. You can find all of our podcasts under the Fandom Podcast Network umbrella. Make sure you check that out. And speaking of, check out the FPN Fandom Podcast Network QR code if you are watching this live on YouTube or not live later on. Give it a little scan there. That will take you to our main website with all of our other awesome podcasts. So, but before we go any further, just want to remind you guys, we are discussing Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 8, the final episode of Season 2 called Southern Cross. But before I go any further, I want to, of course, bring in one of our wonderful guests, one of my longtime friends. Please welcome to the stage, Cat Cedar. What's up, buddy?
Yo! What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Good to have you. Good to have you. Now, I'm sure some people are going like, wait a minute, where's Kyle? Where's Kyle? Well, Kyle got called into work on a little bit of an emergency, and he was going to try to do the show from work, but Kyle's one of the IT guys there as well. And guess what? Their internet is down. So he's going to try if he can, but he's got his hands full. So that sucks that he can't be here with us. So we got you, Kyle. We're thinking about you. I know you want to talk about this, but hopefully we can get you in later. If not, good luck, man. Now, as I said, we are discussing here on True Believers, we are discussing Southern Cross. But if you have not already, please check out our previous episodes that we've discussed, our spoiler reaction shows, of course, to this Season 2. We got you covered there, all of it and stuff. So here we are, Daredevil Born Again. Kat, you a little sad this is the end of the season for Season 2?
I wouldn't say I'm sad. I'm excited for the next season now, especially the way this one ended, which is not how I thought it was going to end. It ended with somebody going to prison, but not who I thought it was going to be.
We'll get into that later. Yeah, I got
a
question. I had stuff surprised me, I'll tell you, and it kept me guessing. It was great. So
yeah,
but we did want to let you guys know this is a spoiler reaction show. If you have not seen this new last episode of Season 2, spoiler alert. So this is a Marvel MCU podcast, and that means, usually people have segments for the podcast, but we don't do segments. We do phases. Phase 1, we got the plot description, our reactions, and then our cast comments and our MVP of the show. And then phase 2, we've got trivia and Easter eggs, followed by plot 3, or plot analysis, ties to the MCU and comics. And phase 4, we got final thoughts and any predictions and stuff going in from there. So with that said, let's go ahead and get things going here. All right, let's go ahead and get into a little plot synopsis here for Season 2 finale, Episode 8, The Southern Cross. All right. As Page trials continue, Murdock calls Fisk as a witness, presents Sava's video testimony, and reveals his identity as Daredevil to corroborate Fisk's crimes, convincing the judge to dismiss the case. Dex stops AVTF officers from assassinating Murdock, then shoots at Fisk, hitting Cashman and prompting Fisk to lock down the courthouse. Daredevil supporters surround the building, encouraged by BB to rise up, and AVTF officer Cole North lets them in after growing disillusioned with Powell's orders. McCaffrey and her attorney general offer Fisk a deal to avoid charges if he goes into exile, but this enrages him and he kills numerous protesters. Murdock, Jones, and Angela fight the AVTF officers until they reach Fisk, and Murdock convinces Fisk to take the deal. In the aftermath, Fisk leaves New York, the AVTF is disbanded, Glenn puts on Muse's mask, Jones reunites with Cage, Dex replaces Cage in Mr. Charles's service, and BB is hired by the New York Bulletin. Murdock and Paige try to move on with their lives together, but Murdock is arrested and imprisoned for his actions as Daredevil. There we go. So a lot happens at the end of this, Cat. Give me your first initial reactions to the Southern Cross.
Besides, holy shit, what just happened? Yeah, really, that was pretty much it. I mean, I liked the episode. It was good. That hallway scene was amazing. The judge courtroom scene was really well done. And, again, Charlie Cox as a lawyer does a great job of, making you feel like he's really a lawyer. But all in all, I thought it was just a really good episode. I'm sad it's over. I want 2 more episodes for 10 seasons. Netflix, get on that. Stop that 8-season crap.
You mean you want 10 episodes, not 8?
Right, 10 episodes. But I want them all at once. I don't want this 10-week waiting period
either. Not going to happen.
That's why I like Disney Plus. They do it all at once.
I get you, though. But my first impressions were, first of all, I love seeing a good courtroom drama with Matt Murdock being Matt Murdock. I always like that. And I was surprised by, first of all, him calling in Fisk. That was great. And then how things took a turn. And I loved how he said, he came out and says, I am Matt Murdock, or I am Daredevil. And we'll get into that a little bit later. And I was kind of, man. What? Yeah, we're gonna reference that because I want to get your thoughts on something on that. So yeah, so I thought overall it was a very good episode. A lot came to fruition. I was questioning how exactly was it going to end? Is it going to end with both Murdock and Fisk going to jail? That wasn't the case. That's another thing we're going to discuss. But yeah, I thought it was a great episode, and I what I really like, Kat, going into the end of this, and especially with a lot of streamers and Netflix shows, you don't always get notification that you're getting a follow-up season that's confirmed, but we know for a fact that we're getting season 3.
Yeah.
So
I think they're already filming it, aren't they?
Yeah, they're already filming it. So yeah. Well, this is the Southern Cross episode, season 2, episode 8 of Daredevil Born Again. But let's go ahead and get into the next segment here with the cast. Who is your guest star MVP? And I want to give a shout out. Kyle wants to say he has a co-MVP here. And I got to say, I completely agree with Kyle on this, is that he wants to give it to Mr. Wilson Fisk himself and, of course, Daredevil. Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox, respectively. I would agree. They both had great moments in this. We got to really see Wilson Fisk's portrayal Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal as Fisk, kind of just knowing, I guess when he's like, you really want to do this, Mr. Murdock, do you really want to go down this thing while he's on court here? I was kind of getting a Few Good Men vibe, when Tom Cruise finally gets Jack Nicholson to break, saying, I gave that order, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. So I would agree with Kyle. This is my co-MVP. What about you, Kat? Who's your MVP of the episode?
Both those guys.
Yeah.
They were phenomenal. The acting was on par. Like I said, the courtroom scene was just great. Fisk doing his thing, which I guess we'll talk about a little later, and the hallway scenes, but just, yeah, I mean, there wasn't much else really drawing anything else for character development, but these two definitely stole the show when they were on the air.
Agreed. Yeah, a runner-up might have been Karen Page, maybe a little bit, but it's these two definitely. They stole the stage, and they were great. So yeah. All right, well, let's get into the next phase here for Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 8, Southern Cross, and that is some Marvel trivia and Easter eggs. All right, Kyle hooked us up with some good ones here, Kat. So the first one here is Alias Investigations. In the aftermath of the battle with Fisk, we see Jessica Jones returning to none other than Alias Investigations, her old apartment/office, which had naturally been a prominent location in her own original Netflix series. Seeing how earlier episodes confirm that Jessica now lives in the suburbs with her daughter, one has to wonder if her reunion with the latest team up with Daredevil has Jones thinking about reopening her PI business / hero work. This was always something I really enjoyed with that series, Kat. What are your thoughts of the possibility of her returning into a PI again now that Luke Cage is back home? Maybe Luke Cage will stay home with the daughter. Who knows?
In the comics, she never left that lifestyle, so that leaving it was kind of unique. But I am glad she's back. The thing that really I'm happy about is the glass isn't broken.
The glass isn't broken?
Yeah, you know how most of it in season 1, the glass was broken. It had that cardboard up there covering it.
Oh, that's right. Good call. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So we can read it this time.
Good call. I like that. All right, next one we got here is Heather as the new Muse.
I told you guys Muse is coming back.
Wearing the mask of Muse at the end of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, it seems very likely that Heather Glenn's downward spiral will only continue in Daredevil Born Again Season 3, becoming an all-new Muse in the MCU, an idea supported by recent set photos. So, you know, it's interesting, Kat. I want to ask you about this because I was just like, okay, that's cool. She's kind of succumbing to this vigilante / whatever feel, and she's traumatized by what happened to her in the Muse, and she put on the Muse mask. And you know, it's kind of funny is in the courtroom. Remember where like she hits that other like lawyer guy in the throat? You know, she's like, "Ooh,
don't ever touch me."
Yeah. So I don't know the comics. What kind of angle do you think they're going to do with her character as the new Muse?
I think they're going to change the Muses, obviously, because the other Muse is not around. I think what they're going to do with her is she's going to stay a psychiatrist, talk to clients, find out, oh, my husband beat me, and then she's going to put on a Muse mask and go kill him.
So do you think that she's going to be more of a vigilante, a.k.a. writing the light side more than being a serial killer?
I don't think she's going to be a serial killer. I think she's more like just going to be a straight out killer. You know,
interesting.
Not killing in a certain way. Just, oh, you hit this woman, I'm going to kill you now.
Okay, gotcha. So not really a good vigilante, a bad vigilante.
Yeah, she's going to be bad. She's going to fall.
Okay, I like that angle. You know, using her psychology degree to kind of figure out who's who and what's what. You know? So yeah.
And I love the ending of this scene where they show Muse wearing the mask, and then show Muse looking in the mirror, and it's her without the mask on.
Yeah, that was a nice shot. Yeah, that's cool. All right, the next bit that we have here is titled Hallways to the Max. Daredevil's growing resilience finally reaches its peak following Karen's trial with several citizens joining Murdock and his allies. Eventually, resistance floods into the courtroom to try to bring Fisk down themselves. Remarkably, we get dual Daredevil hallway scenes in this season finale as a major staple from the previous Netflix era, as Fisk and Daredevil converge on each other. In one hallway, Fisk is shown brutally attacking his own citizens, many of whom are dressed in red and wearing homemade Daredevil masks. Meanwhile, Daredevil, Karen, Jessica Jones, and White Tiger are shown making their way through the other hallway and taking on Fisk's remaining AVTF officers. That was kind of a nice little parallel action that we were seeing going on there.
Yep, that was a great scene. I love that scene.
Did you also notice, too, that what is it, the girl that's now taken over the White Tiger title?
Ayala?
That she's seen, what's her name?
Ayala.
Yeah, that she was a little more agile in her kick, beating people up. She seemed to.
The totem gives her enhanced speed, strength, agility.
The amulet, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I kind of noticed that was kicking in there. So yeah, that was kind of cool.
But also makes her a little more violent. So
gotcha.
That's why she was like, bam! She just kept hitting that guy that was down for a little bit.
All right, the last bit of trivia / Easter eggs we have here is titled Pana-2 Garden Indian Restaurant. The restaurant with all the string lights that Karen and Matt visit is not only the same one they go in Netflix's Daredevil, but it's actual real-life restaurant in New York's East Village, Pana-2 Garden Indian Restaurant. I bet they're going to get busier business now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they will.
I had a question about this, actually, Kat. I want to ask you something. So I don't know if we have the topic on this, so I'm going to bring it up now regarding this. They profess their love for each other in this episode. They said he loves her and she says, I love her too. So in the comics, how much of a relationship do we have between Karen Page and Matt Murdock? Knowing each other's secrets, of course.
They were in love. They lived together. Matt had mentioned at one time, although it never happened, about getting married. But again, his Daredevil sort of, they know who you are and yada, yada, yada kind of, scapegoat came in. So he didn't do it. But yeah, they loved each other for as long as they were characters until she was killed and then brought back and then killed again. And I think she's still dead now. I think she's still dead.
That's funny. Killed, brought back, dead again. It's funny. Well, I thought it was just a nice moment, them professing their love for each other and just saying, I love you. That was a very, very nice thing. And I guess that was just something I wasn't expecting, but it was a pleasant surprise to hear, especially at the end of this season. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into phase 3. All right, let's give a shout out to my good friend Nathan, who is one of the hosts of the What a Piece of Junk Star Wars podcast on the Fandom Podcast Network. He goes by Gooey Chewy. He says, I love this episode. It's titled The Southern Cross, when the first episode was The Northern Star. Good call out there. Good. Yeah, I like that.
I love that name. Gooey Chewy.
Gooey Chewy, yeah. Thanks for checking in, Nathan. Appreciate you. Okay, so here we are. This is Daredevil Born Again here on True Believers, Season 2, Episode 8, The Southern Cross. And this is where we have our plot analysis, and we have some topics that we wanted to talk about here. And the first thing we want to talk about is I am Daredevil. Outing himself as Daredevil to the entire city, Matt Murdock wins the case with his major surprise reveal and sacrifice. Not only does the public reveal share the DNA with Tony Stark's admission that he was Iron Man at the end of the very first MCU movie, but there's now a future opportunity for Matt Murdock to don his infamous I'm not Daredevil sweater from the comics. One can dream. First of all, before we talk about our thoughts on this I am Daredevil moment or / I am Iron Man moment, what are they referring to when it comes to the I'm not Daredevil sweater? Kat, I figure you would know.
There were two things they talked about in the comics about that. The main one is that because something Jack Murdock did, which was a persona of Matt Murdock when he was going a little insane, he told the people that he was Daredevil, and no one really believed him. So that's where the I am not Daredevil sweater came from. Trying to make people not believe him, and it eventually worked, and people stopped thinking he was Daredevil because, he's a blind lawyer, he can't be Daredevil.
Right. Okay, so I wasn't expecting him to come out, but not until they started leading up to it in court. But if you told me, Kat, he's going to come out as outing himself as Daredevil at the end of season 2, I was like, no.
He never does that in the comics. I
was going to ask you, I wanted you to elaborate on that because I thought this was great. This is also, of course, where I was getting the vibes of the courtroom scene from A Few Good Men, where Tom Cruise is, you want
the truth?
What's that? Yeah.
You want the truth?
You can't handle the truth. Yeah. But then, when they're having that back and forth, when Fisk is on the stand and Fisk knows what he's thinking about doing. Mm-hmm. He's like, do you really want to go this? Do you really want to do this? And then Matt's like, yes, I do. And not in so many words, but pretty much says that. Yeah. And then he says, go ahead.
The thing I liked is when they had the sidebar for a minute and the lawyers were talking to Matt and the other lawyer, and you can see Wilson still sitting in the box and saying, you really want to go with this, Murdock? And of course he has super hearing. He's like, that's what he says, yes, I do. Yeah. Kingpin couldn't hear him.
Yeah.
But he heard that. He's like, oh yeah. I thought that was pretty cool little symmetry.
Yeah, because he's setting it up as like, you called me a hero when I saved your life, so he was like setting all this up and everything, and he needed to connect Fisk to the Northern Star ship because he was on the ship and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't expect that to happen, but could you elaborate more on what happened in the comics when this was a thing? Because that was my first question. I'm like, did this happen in the comics too? Because I didn't expect this.
Never happened in the comics. He's never outed himself as Daredevil.
Really?
Yeah. He's never told anybody except for the obviously his inner circle,
right?
Jessica Jones,
but not to the public, basically.
No, never.
So
This is all a Netflix thing.
Well, now this is Disney Plus now.
I mean, a Disney thing. I'm sorry, yeah.
So, okay, so when going forward, I mean, we know, obviously in the MCU, everyone knows Tony Stark is Iron Man.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a few people that cover their faces and stuff, but most of the people are who they are, and they know who they are, you know. But as of the masked vigilante part, what do you think this is going to mean going forward with the MCU?
I have no clue. That's it. This is all a Disney thing now, so I have no idea what's going on. They basically went, "Hey, look, some rails. Let's go off those."
Yeah.
And we'll do it. I am Daredevil, sort of like an I am Iron Man thing. And I'm like, well, he's never done that in the comics. Why would he be doing? And I guess the only way I can think of it is because he had to out himself to prove that Fisk was indeed part of the whole shipping thing and the gun, because he was there, and Kingpin knows he was there.
Yeah.
So he's like,
well, he basically said, is it true that Daredevil was on the ship? He's like, evidence would seem so. So he, you know, confirms that there. So I want to remind you, if you're watching us live on YouTube, please give us any comments, throw them out in the live chat there. We'll share them here because we want to hear from you as well.
Yeah. I did like how he showed off that he was Daredevil by throwing his staff. It was Billy Club.
Yeah. Exactly. That he can, even though blind, he can still see.
Yep.
Okay, so when this happened, there's obviously a lot of people going, "Hey, wait a minute, that reminds me of Iron Man." When Tony Stark decides to come out and says, "I am Iron Man." So I got to ask you, who did it better, Iron Man or Daredevil?
Spider-Man.
Wait, what?
Spider-Man did it too in the comics.
But who did it better here in the MCU?
Oh, okay. You have to go with Tony because, I mean, he did it first. He had that sort of like, you know, not even thinking about it, and he's just like, "I am Iron Man."
Yeah, that movie, that moment was huge. But and I was trying to remember when I was first watching Iron Man for the first time. Was I expecting him to come out and say it or go along with it? I couldn't remember. Do you remember?
I was not expecting it at all.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was wondering, like, is he going to be, you know, a masked vigilante and, you know, stay under the radar? But I'm like, yeah.
But Tony Stark in the comics also was publicly known as Iron Man. So
yeah,
it made sense. Like I said, Daredevil is not publicly known in the comics. So that doesn't make sense.
All right, let's go to our second topic here. Season 2 is done. What are your overall thoughts on this season, Kat?
With season 3.
What? Yeah, obviously we want season 3, but how does season 2 hold up? Maybe compared to the first season of this Born Again thing. I want to get your thoughts on season 2 here.
I really enjoyed just about every episode of season 2. All the interactions with Fisk and Murdock, Karen Page and Bullseye. You know, everything was really good. All the action scenes were really good. They're well done. The dialogue was done really good. Some of the acting could have been a little more stronger, but I mean, I don't think people are going to compare to D'Onofrio and Cox because they were just amazing.
Yeah.
So even all the costumes were really done really well, except for one. And yeah, all in all, I had great vibes about it, and I'm really looking forward to season 3 to see how they're going to get Daredevil out of prison, which I'm hoping is going to be the governor. And I'm hoping maybe we see Elektra as well.
Well, what I've noticed, I'm glad you brought that up about the prison thing, Kat, because what I've noticed is that both Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio grew beards. So I'm wondering what that means. Yeah. Nathan chimes in again. He says, I thought Daredevil had revealed his identity in court in the comics. So I looked it up. He did in 2014, according to him. So
I don't remember that.
Yeah. So if you have more information on that'd be good to know. I'm wondering if it was just as dramatic, if it was a big deal. Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate that. That's what I think you're used to the older issues of Daredevil, if I remember correctly.
I am.
So, yeah.
I haven't read Daredevil in a few years. Well,
So regarding our thoughts overall on season 2, what I loved about season 2, there wasn't an episode I really didn't like because it seems like each episode gave us something revealed something new, yet there's still left questions of what was going to happen. But what I think I'm going to remember season 2 of Daredevil Born Again the most, Kat, and I have over here with me a promotional release of Daredevil on Netflix. And these were things that were given out for like, either voters or whatever for, please, consider us for like, maybe an Emmy or something like this. And I have this Daredevil on Netflix, and this is season 1 here. If you look at the back of it too, it's got John Barenthal as the Punisher. But what I love about this season 2 of Daredevil Born Again is it pretty much brought in everything they could with the Netflix series and let fans know Netflix series is canon, and we're going to reference it the hell out of every single thing.
They did it.
Wouldn't you agree with that?
We've said this, I think, and I think we've said this on just about every episode we've run, that whoever is the person in charge of getting those little tidbits of information from the Netflix series did a phenomenal job. Yeah. They need a pay raise and something, because they did. I mean, the fact they found, I found this egg that was sitting here on this one scene. Let's put it back in this scene. Those eggs are the same one.
Yeah.
What the hell?
And Nathan says Daredevil number 36.
That must be when they reprinted Daredevil then, because I didn't. Cool. Yeah, those are new reprints of Daredevil.
Well, I'd be curious to see how that version, like if they were inspired by what Nathan said, that Daredevil, basically outed himself as, Matt Murdock outed himself. Daredevil. I wonder how the comic series dealt with that, and I'm curious if the the now Disney Plus series for Daredevil Born Again season 3, if they're going to follow along similar lines and take some inspiration from that. So I'm kind of curious.
They might. I don't know, because most of this season was all taken from the older Daredevil comics that both Kyle and I read.
Right.
So a lot of it's from there, because there wasn't. That's why I said he didn't ever outed himself, because I didn't read the new Daredevil stuff.
Yeah. All right. The next topic we have is where do we go from here? Several things are on the board. Daredevil in prison teases multiple Marvel futures, and we have a picture here, of course, of him from the episode sitting in jail. But then there is looks like a comic book here that says Daredevil, the Devil in Cell Block D. I'm assuming that was an issue that came out of him being in jail. Are you familiar with this at all, Kat?
Might be, again, the new stuff.
All right. Well, I got some info on it here. It says Matthew Murdock in prison opens up some very exciting avenues for the future of Daredevil Born Again season 3. Firstly, it could be setting up an adaptation of the comics Devil in Cell Block D storyline, where Iron Fist takes over as Daredevil while Matt's temporarily behind bars. Similarly, Elektra became a brand new Daredevil during Murdock's more recent stint in prison just a few years ago. Another possible scenario is that actress Elodie Young perhaps returns in Daredevil Born Again season 3. And I've actually seen some rumors of that, Kat. I've seen that the actress is in New York, and so there's rumors that she's going to be returning. Also, Spider-Man Brand New Day's first trailer has to be addressed in light of Daredevil Born Again Season 2's ending, because we see Tom Holland's Spider-Man in a prison fighting the ninja cult known as the Hand. I think I got a picture of that here. In the Hand, this is here. And it says a group of villains typically associated with Daredevil. Perhaps Spider-Man is trying to protect Matt and or break him out before the Hand can kill him. What is your thoughts on that, Kat?
My thoughts is there are a lot of scenes, a lot of space in there where there could be other people, and I'm betting there's going to be other people in those scenes that we don't see. The trailer
cut out some spoilery stuff that they're not ready to show yet, is what you're saying, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor as well.
Yeah. As you said, I think, but I'm glad Elektra's coming back, if she is indeed coming back, which I'm hoping she does, because then they can bring Foggy back using the water to bring him back.
What is the water?
They have a way of it. When people die in comics.
As you wrote, it's like the quotation fingers there. Yes.
It's like the Lazarus Pit in Batman.
Right. Gotcha.
But they have a ceremony they can do and bring people back from the dead.
Well, I was a huge fan of Elodie Young's Elektra, and I would love to see her back.
Yeah, I would too.
I just recently watched her in the one good G.I. Joe movie, Retaliation, where she plays Jinx the Ninja, and she works with Snake Eyes.
Okay.
She was really, really good in that. All right, the next topic we got to touch on here, Kat, is Bullseye gets recruited. A new Thunderbolt? ? Surprisingly, Bullseye is shown on a plane with Mr. Charles, with the strong implication that he has replaced Luke Cage and will now do government jobs for Charles and Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. This could very well mean that MCU's Bullseye is one step closer to becoming a Thunderbolt/Dark Avenger, like he briefly was in the comics. What is your thoughts on that, Kat? I kind of like this idea.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I like Dark Avengers. I like Bullseye as Hawkeye.
Well, I know how you feel about this, but I wanted to give you the platform again because the rumor is that Bullseye is going to get a new costume next season. I hope, please, as you hope, that it is the one that is more true to the comics.
Come on, just black and white, guys. Put some Bullseye marks on his forehead. Give him his white gloves, white boots, white belt.
What about if they were off-white? Would that be fine?
That's fine too. Just as long as they're not that stupid snow job look.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that would be nice to see him get a more traditional one. So, yeah, I've seen that in more than one fandom report as well.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Although the costume he did wear at the end on the final episode was a little different too, which was nice. Still not his costume.
Right. Yeah.
But it's good to see him out of that snowbird, whatever it was.
Nathan chimes in again here. Gooey Chewy says, looks like the 2014 run had something to do with a group called the Sons of the Serpent. So I don't know that is being followed or just provided some inspiration. Thank you for doing that. He also says, I would look further, but it's time to record. What a piece of junk podcast. There you go, buddy. Well, thank you, Nathan, for checking in and give us some insight on that. So that's cool. That's something else to think about.
Yeah,
I like
those guys that he mentioned are part of Iron Fist's enemies.
Oh, very cool. Okay, nice. I know people really don't care for Iron Fist and Netflix, but I'm the one person that liked him.
No, I liked him. I just wish I would have given him more time to train him so he could have looked like he knew he was doing instead of just looking. I mean, as the season went on and the Defenders went on, he got better, and they trained him better, and he got better.
I just liked him as a character.
He was amazing.
Care less about the fighting, but I thought he was great as a character. And
yeah, he looks just really like Danny Rand.
Yeah,
and it's funny. My cousin Daniel looks just like him, and he also was a big Iron Fist fan.
All right, the next the next topic we have here, Kat, is hold on, let's bring it here. Is Wilson Fisk in exile? Exiled from New York, Wilson Fisk is shown on the beach, presumably the same beach where he once walked with his late wife, Vanessa. This very much mirrors Fisk's ousting as New York's mayor in the comics, where he similarly went to a temporary exile and left New York at the end of the Devil's Reign event. However, Wilson Fisk's Kingpin often returns to New York sooner or later, and the same could be said true for MCU's Fisk as well. By the way, real quick, I love that one scene where Jessica Jones refers to him
as Kingpin.
Kingpin. I love that. I thought that was great. So your thoughts on this? We see him on the beach doing his thing. What do you think?
I watched it, and then I rewound that scene again to watch it again, and that looks a lot like the tech that Sword uses when they want to go on a vacation. Remember when like Nick Fury is like lying on the beach?
Right.
Or they send what's his name to
So you think it was like a virtual setup?
Yeah, it didn't look real.
It's like the special room they call the volume where they shoot the Mandalorian in, where they can project any background and
it didn't look real to me, and I'm like, is he just like in some kind of prison where it's virtual reality prison? Because something doesn't.
Maybe he actually has a beachfront property somewhere. So
I mean, he's rich, so I wouldn't be surprised. Although they did say they filled all his assets, so who knows?
The next topic we have here is the New York Bulletin returns with a familiar face and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ? An exciting bit of a legacy. Bibi Eric is shown getting her own office at the New York Bulletin. This is the same office that once belonged to her uncle Ben Eric before he was killed by Fisk in Netflix's Daredevil Season 1. Karen Page used the same office when she became a reporter following Eric's death. Additionally, Bibi is shown in her office by none other than Bulletin's editor Mitchell Edison, with actor Jeffrey Cantor reprising his role from the Netflix era. See, there they are, just going Netflix on this, man. I'm loving this. This. The framed headlines on the wall are Ben's story on the Incredible Hulk's brawl with the Abomination in Harlem, as well as the Battle of New York. During the Netflix era of the Marvel shows, these famed stories were some of the most direct references to the greater MCU at the time. We can also see a framed front page story with the deadline Cybertech Settles, which was also in the original Daredevil series. This is a reference to the Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., suggesting that at least some elements of the ABC show are still MCU canon. Kat, this is the thing they need to do. They need to target the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and make that canon.
Phil Coulson, that was his name.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't remember his name for a minute.
Yeah.
I'd love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to be canon. I just wish Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was better. I was not as pleased with that show as
it had its moments, and then it kind of started to go off the rails a little bit. There were some really good episodes there.
Yeah, I like the Ghost Rider episodes.
Yeah. I mean, I ended up finding the whole series on DVD, and I need to do that.
For what, $1.99?
No, I found it more than that. But I don't think it's on Disney Plus, but I wish that it was. If it is, I'm going to go find it and give it a shot again, because I was really enjoying the show for a while there. So, yeah. All right, next topic we have to discuss here is the return of Luke Cage. Love this scene. We also see the exciting return of Mike Coulter's Luke Cage, who reunites with Jessica inside Alias Investigations. While previous episodes confirmed that Luke had been overseas working for Mr. Charles doing covert government operations. It seems that he's finally returned home to Jessica and their daughter, Danielle. Luke Cage's return is just in time for his and Jessica's confirmed appearance in Daredevil Born Again Season 3, alongside Finn Jones as Iron Fist, a full-blown Defenders reunion with Daredevil 10 years after their Netflix crossover series. Not only that, but Luke Cage was New York's next mayor after Fisk was outed during the comics Devil Reign event, and he's still the current mayor. Perhaps the same will happen in the MCU with Sheila serving as New York's interim mayor until the next election? ? What are your thoughts on the possibility of them going that direction with Luke Cage becoming mayor? I didn't know that. That's
follow
cool.
The comics. It would make sense, but again, I don't know anything about the comics anymore, apparently, because things happen that I didn't realize. So who knows? But I would love to see him follow that comic arc and try to clean up the city better than Fisk.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so my question to you is back to what we might see for Season 3 is I have a picture of the Defenders here from the Netflix era. Is I've been hearing rumors that we're going to see another big bad as the villain. Are we going to see the return of the Hand? Are we going to see something new? Obviously, we're going to have Wilson Fisk back. That's obviously a given. But it seems like there's going to be something else out there than just Daredevil going against Fisk again. What are your thoughts? What do you think we might see?
I'm hoping the Hand comes back.
Because of what we've seen in Spider-Man?
Yeah, but I'm hoping the Hand comes back just because I like the Hand as a villain, dude. Always fun.
Well, hold on a second. If I remember correctly, in the Defenders, that was one of my biggest problems was, remember Sigourney Weaver was part of the villains in that or something? Yeah,
she was some head honcho.
Yeah, I don't remember the reason because I've only watched it once, but It just didn't sit well with me the way they handled that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I don't remember her at all. I only watched it once as well, so I spaced that part up because I thought that stuff was all stupid.
Yeah.
I would love to see the Purple Man come back.
Remind me who that is?
That's Jessica Jones's villain, the one who does use in the comics, he uses his voice, but in the show, he uses pheromones to make people do what he wants.
Who was the villain in the first season that was played by the Doctor Who guy?
That's Purple Man.
But what was his name though? He had another name.
Oh, you mean his real name?
Yeah.
Killian. I can't remember.
Something Graves. Yeah.
I can't remember his real name.
Yeah, someone
comic name.
Yeah, I think he would be a really good villain to bring back if
he'd be good. Stiltman would be awesome.
No, not after the pictures you guys showed me last week. God no, Jesus.
But no, I would really. They've mentioned a few serpents in the Defender in Luke Cage's show. I'd love to see the Serpent Society come back.
Okay,
that would be pretty cool. And then of course, they tried to also be the premier underground mob boss. The Serpent Society was.
Was there if you remember regarding the comics, was there another villain agency, I'll just say, that aligned with Wilson Fisk that he worked with to either just
with? No, he paid to have them do stuff. Yes, like Hydra, AIM, both them.
Right. I'm really curious what we're going to learn from I guess the new Spider-Man movie, if that's going to tie into anything, because obviously, and we'll touch on Punisher in a moment, but because we got a new Punisher movie coming out next week that we'll talk about shortly, but I'm kind of curious to see if there's going to be a little tease in that. So, Okay, so let's get, we're done with all of our main topics here, but I did want to open this up to general discussion, and I have two things that I want to get your thoughts on. Oh, yeah, Kat, go.
Zebediah Kilgrave.
Zebediah Kilgrave. That's a name. God, he was so good.
That's his name.
I would love to see him back. He was so damn good. Oh, yeah.
You were saying?
Yeah. So I got two topics I want to bring to your attention here that I still got kind of questions about. So I want to talk about this scene where they have someone else dressed up as Bullseye with a sniper rifle, getting ready to, and they have the rifle trained on the entrance to the courtroom. And the initial intention is to have this person who's dressed up as Bullseye take out Matt Murdock as they're leaving, basically. But the real Bullseye gets ahead of them, takes out the team that is in the sniper position, and then takes out the fake Bullseye because he's dressed up as Bullseye, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. What is the end game here with this plan here? Was that, do they have this guy dressed up as Bullseye, and Bullseye is going to take the blame, obviously? But how does that work exactly? Like, okay, so he makes a shot. Let's say they get away with the plan here. He shoots Murdock, right, in front of everyone. Then do the other guys turn on this guy and then say, hey, we found Bullseye? Or do they shoot him saying he's Bullseye? I'm trying to figure out the end game of this plan. I was
one
a
of
little
those
confused.
two things.
Go.
He kills Murdock, which obviously can't happen because then there'd be no more Daredevil.
Right.
And then they say they finally caught Bullseye and he put him in jail. And then Bullseye goes to work for the other guy as Hawkeye in the Dark Defenders. Or because he got ahead of them as the real Bullseye, this is part of the favor that he owes to Matt.
No, I get that. I understand that, but I'm trying to figure out what their master plan was with this fake Bullseye.
I think just to frame Bullseye and say we caught him and killed him. Kind of weak sauce, I know.
But then Bullseye's still out there,
right? But I think he'd be out there as the Dark Avenger.
Yeah, I guess what you could do is slander his name even more. I mean, you almost don't want to kill the guy that's pretending to be Bullseye.
No,
because then you have this video proof. Maybe they filmed him or something. Yeah, this guy.
And then you have the real Bullseye chasing you.
Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't quite sit right with me. Did it sit weird with you?
It was a little different. Like I said, I was trying to figure out which point they were going for: kill Matt or kill Kingpin.
Yeah, and I was kind of curious about that. So yeah. All right, the other thing. So I went back and watched this. I'm counting at least 10 or 12 people that Wilson Fisk possibly killed as he was leaving the courtroom. I mean, it felt like every time he hit someone, no one was recovering from that.
Yeah, he killed everybody he hit.
Yeah, so why isn't he held accountable for killing these people?
Could not tell you. Maybe it was part of the we'll let you go into exile. Couldn't tell you.
I mean,
man,
I guess
did
you
his
could say he was fighting for his own life because these vigilantes were trying to kill him, and if he did go to court, maybe that would be the angle.
What do they call it?
But I'm sorry, but there should be cameras everywhere in these courtrooms. And
I don't know about cameras everywhere, but I don't know about being in the hallway.
I like how when he first opens up the door and there's like the first vigilante person like dressed up as Daredevil, he goes boo, and this guy slams him across the room.
You see him. You see how far he flies across. I mean, you can see the Kingpin is definitely a tough dude. He's not weak sauce that people think he is.
It was a scene I really wanted to see, but I was kind of like hoping they would at least address it somewhere in the episode. Like, maybe we're gonna let you go. We're gonna let you, all those people that you killed on the way out to the terrace there or whatever. We're gonna look past that. But
all that self-defense.
Yeah, whatever.
Was maybe they'll explain it next episode, next season.
Was there anything else from this final episode of season 2? That you wanted to address? Anything else that comes to mind? I think
we get over. I think went over the hallway scene, which was amazing. The Corman scene, which was amazing. The interesting idea. I had another thought on the psychiatrist wearing the mask, being used, looking at herself. I wonder if she's doing a reverse psychology thing where the mask is really her, and her non-mask form is the mask over her. Kind of thing.
So she still has her job doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if they're going to address something early in the first season where she just snaps and then becomes the Muse. Or does she then become the Muse? Does she team up with someone else? Or because the Muse was like a solitary villain. He didn't team up with anyone, did he? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious.
That's the thought, though, because I noticed in other movies you see the bad guy looks at themselves while they're wearing a mask, and this is the real form. The mask, the non-mask, is the mask you're wearing over the real form. So it's sort of like a reverse psychology.
Gotta say though, that Muse mask is creepy, but it is really cool looking.
how many conventions are going to be Muses, do you think, this year?
I know, right? Yeah. That's a cool looking villain. It's pretty accurate to the comic, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Well, we got something else we need to address and also tease here on True Believers. Guys, guess what? I guess it's 3 days now? As of this recording, Punisher, One Last Kill, May 12th, is coming to Disney Plus. Punisher is getting his own movie, Cat.
2 days.
Yeah, I know. Tuesday, right? Yeah, it drops on Tuesday. It was the same. It's the same day that the Daredevil series has been dropping. So yeah. And there's not a lot of information on it. And I've also noticed, too, that whatever we've seen officially via trailers for this, it's not giving a lot away. IMDb says, as Frank Castle searches for meaning beyond revenge, an unexpected force pulls him back into the fight. Director is Ronaldo Marcus Green. John Barenthal gets a writing credit on this, as well as Ronaldo as well. Nice. And of course, stars John Barenthal. So I wanted to get your thoughts on what you've seen thus far, Kat. Are you excited about this?
I, believe it or not, am not the biggest Punisher fan. I like Punisher. I like his, who he is in the comics. Will I watch this? Absolutely. But, I'm excited to see because I want to see what's going to tie in between this, Daredevil Season 3, Spider-Man. There's a lot of tie-ins with this episode. So... And I wish it was more than an hour long, which is hour-long crap.
Yeah, that was my one complaint, was when I heard that it's an hour. We were not getting like an hour and a half or 2 hour movie on this. So, yeah.
Yeah, for a one-shot? Come on. Give us an hour and a half. Not an hour and a half with credits. I want an hour and a half of show.
So you said you're not the biggest Punisher fan. The Punisher was one. So when I started getting into comics, and you remember this, Cat, because we've known each other for so long now.
Almost 42 years.
Yeah. The comics, like my first comics that I remember getting was Star Wars, and then I wasn't a superhero comic guy, but like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I went to Robotech comics. I went to other types of comics when I did start collecting comics at Andromeda Bookshop there in Delegara Plaza. You remember that place, Cat, in Santa Barbara.
That's where I bought my TMNT comics.
Yeah. That's where I first discovered, like, oh, you can buy comics other than 7-Eleven Spindle Rack. This is awesome. But the Punisher was one of those characters that I was gravitated towards because he didn't feel like a superhero. He wasn't a superhero. He was a vigilante.
Yeah.
And he was getting back at bad guys because of what happened to his family. And I thought that was really cool. And I remember that was one of the reasons why I gravitated towards the first Punisher movie with Dolph Lundgren, which still holds a very special place in my heart. I love that movie, as cheesy as it is.
Oh, yeah.
But John Barenthal has epitomized this character from day one, dude.
Oh, yeah. He's probably the best looking, most realistic, physical size, shape, and demeanor that, Frank Castle has. And when he goes Punisher mode, he goes Punisher mode.
He does. And that Netflix series was great. I love his introduction with Daredevil as well, and Daredevil season 1. So I'm looking forward to see what we get. But also, too, this is going to be bridging the gap between what we've seen in Daredevil Born Again season 2 to what we're going, and we've been teased already of his appearance in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, that's why I'm interested in watching it to see what's going to be the tie-in for 2 and 3 and Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I'm really curious how they're going to handle his scenes in Spider-Man, because Spider-Man, is going to be a PG-13 film. But I have a feeling that the Punisher movie one-shot that we're going to be watching soon and covering here on the Fandom Podcast Network's True Believers, I'm assuming they're going to stay with the R rating that we've been getting with Daredevil Born Again. I hope so.
We will.
Yeah. So, well, Kat, I assume you're going to be back for that True Believers, because we got to have you on the Punisher one-shot podcast.
As far as I know, I'm going to be back unless God forbid something happens to me.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. Because we need you back. Really looking forward to this. Stay tuned to the Fandom Podcast Network, True Believers Podcast. But right now we are closing out our spoiler reaction show for Daredevil Born Again Season 2 here on the True Believers Podcast. Kyle's not here. Sorry, buddy. We'll get your thoughts on the final episode when we before we go into the Punisher stuff, because I know Punisher. I know that Kyle will have thoughts on this season finale.
Absolutely.
This is the Fandom Podcast Network. If you are watching the YouTube channel and the video here, please hit that QR code as well. But before we go close out, I want to get your final thoughts on this last episode, Kat.
Again, it was good. I mean, it was definitely left some in the air. And what? I'm excited. I mean, I'm not usually a big fan of ending like that, because I want to see more and I want to write meow. But this was really good the way they did it, and the fact that we are getting a 3rd season, it was just guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm so happy that that's been guaranteed, and we'll probably be getting this 3rd season the same time next year as we got this one as well. So, but this is the Fandom Podcast Network, guys, and of course we can be found on Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, and X. And my name is Kevin. You can find me at Spartan_Phoenix on Facebook, Blue Sky, and all the other socials, X, Instagram. Also on Letterboxd, the movie app, where I keep track of all my movies. I'm also on Discord as well. Kat, I know you don't do a lot of social media, but you are on Facebook as well, and the others at Static Cat, right?
I am indeed Static Cat 1 Facebook. You can find me there.
And please give us a shout out on our TeePublic store. Purchase a shirt. I'm wearing my True Believers shirt, but we have shirts from all of our shows on the network here. You can get hats and cups and all kinds of other apparel. When you purchase that stuff, we get a little kickback, and it keeps the Tesseract happy. So help us out there and get your own shirt. We would appreciate that. Kat, first of all, thank you so much for joining us this whole season of Daredevil. Your enthusiasm and your fandom and your knowledge overall has been amazing. And I love podcasting, brother. We've been friends for like 40 years, and it's great we can
42.
still do this stuff.
Yep. Nerds forever, man.
That's right. Well, guys, this is the True Believers here on the Fandom Podcast Network, and we just discussed the final episode of our Daredevil Board Again spoiler reaction show. And that, of course, is season 2, episode 8, The Southern Cross. Go back and check out our old episodes. But stay tuned next week as we cover the Punisher one-shot, One Last Kill. Join us again next time here on the Fandom Podcast Network. True Believers. Kat, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Always, man. I can't wait for next week.
All right, guys. Until next time, we'll see you here on the Fandom Podcast Network for True Believers. And as we always say, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Fandom Podcast Network's True Believers. Excelsior, and make ours marvel. We'll see you guys next week.